Hi, I'm Michael.
I'm Lisa.
We help individuals and couples cultivate a no-surrender mindset through life adversity so they can
Thrive. Today we're talking about taking ownership of your life
not your vehicle or your car, your life.
or your partner.
And how, exactly right, and how that can help in being with another person. Well, that can help in your partnership. Hi, we're going to give you a couple examples of what it means to take ownership. Number one, self-education. When I'm talking about self-education, what I'm saying is if you have the capability to go to college at a young age, great, go. If you don't have the ability to go to college and you have to work, take a course or two. Today's world, there's so many resources out there that you can learn almost anything that you want to learn, any recreation you want to learn, anything to help you personal grow. Personal development. Slow reading, there's books to show you how to read fast. If you want to do financial education, there's things to learn to be financial. If you want to learn about relationship, there's books out there to learn, there's videos, there's people doing webinars, there's us that learn how to do a relationship. And the reason why I say self, because if I'm working on myself, I am going to actually attract someone who wants to work on themselves, or I'm going to repel someone who doesn't. And it's important. If I work on myself and
I work on myself.
it creates a better relationship. So self-education. You can learn a lot in school. You can learn in your job, but you learn a lot more by seeking to personally grow.
That could also be self-education about who you are, what your interests are, what's happened to you in your past. What are you carrying in that backpack that you've been carrying with you all these years that's just weighing 1,000 pounds that you need to unpack, look at, dive into so that you can let go of that and move on. All of the different types of education that revolve around you.
Number two, emotional growth. I put emotional growth at number two because it's important, especially as a male. Generally, at least the most males I hang around in my life, which is majority, emotionally aren't equipped to handle the different levels that happen within a relationship. We have to grow. At least I had to grow and able to pay attention to that. Again, I had to personal develop, go learn, go listen, sit in the hot seat when my partner's telling me she needs something from me and I'm emotionally inept to give it to her. Able to, but I don't know it. I want to, but I don't know how to, so I go learn. There's a difference between being able to and unable to. And I was able to. I had to go learn how to do that. Because what do women have?
Women have a lot of emotions. We are emotional, and not just women, but usually there is one person within a relationship that is more emotional than the other person. That in our relationship happens to be me. I am driven by emotions, especially since after going through the burglary, almost losing my husband, the trauma that we've been through in our past, that has brought on even more emotion. I have a lot of empathy towards people. I could see something on the news or read something in a book or just look at somebody who's upset and just feel that connection with them, have that empathy. So I'm a highly emotional person, and I have had to learn how to manage that myself, how not to allow that to spill over into my life. I don't want to be living under the covers every day because everything is touching me and affecting me so much. So I've had to learn how to manage that myself with the self-education. So it goes hand in hand.
That's a good point. And number three, part of taking ownership is your physical growth. Naturally, we are going to age. And if you're lucky, you're going to grow old into a full life. If you're lucky. Some of us aren't. I had friends who passed away at a very young age. I've had people who lived a long, fruitful life. And sometimes you don't have a choice of what's going to happen to us tomorrow. So take care of the one vessel that you have this entire life, because you can't trade this one in, right? You can't. When people spend tons of money to look younger, it's the internal work. It's the inside job. You know, we have a vision for how we want our relationship to be. I want to be a happy guy. I want to go into later life and be happy about it. And I have to be able to take care of myself physically. Now, I live in reality. Things can happen. I can walk out the door and get hit by a car. I can drive, get traffic accident. I can lose limbs. We've had the improbable probably happen to us more in our relationship than some, but probably not as much as others. So part of that is physically take care of yourself where you're at. It'll help. It not only helps me, it helps me bring a better me to our relationship.
And it also helps eliminate a lot of the stress when you're in a relationship, because if one of you is taking care of yourself, if I'm taking care of myself and my husband is not, he's not very good, not very healthy, doesn't eat right, has some things that he does that he shouldn't do, then it brings a lot of stress and weight on me as his partner, because I'm worried about, gosh, how much longer is he going to live? What am I going to do if something happens to him? What if he has certain health issues that are going to affect our relationship long term? You know, the night that he was stabbed, he got stabbed twice in the spine. We didn't know if he was going to walk again. That would have affected our relationship for the long period of time. I never would have left him, but it would have changed everything. Now, that was an accident. That wasn't planned, wasn't anything we had control over, but it still affects us.
Yeah.
But the things that we do have control over are our physical well-being, what we're eating, how our mind is working. Are we taking care of ourselves emotionally? Do we get enough rest? How are we feeling? Are we highly stressed? Those things are things that we do have control over that we need to work on. And it brings a healthier me and a healthier him into our relationship so we can continue to move forward.
And we had to actually seek to do that. It's not something that was taught to us. We had to go out and seek that information. Again, self-education. And number 4.
Personal mindset.
Dun, dun, dun!
We talk a lot about having a no surrender mindset.
Yep.
We don't want to give in to the bad things that happen.
Nope.
We don't want to give in to negativity.
Nope.
We don't want to give in to financial ruin. We don't
No.
want to give in to just the suffering, the downness of
Right.
life. We refuse to do that. And
Right.
the reason why is because we choose
Right.
and
Right.
take action to
Right.
work on our mindset.
Right. And sometimes you have to limit the information that is going in between your ears. If you're not aware of it, most people are negative. Most outlets that are feeding you information are negative. Most programs are negative. There's very conflict. That's why you like to stay. Why do you think there's a lot of people who gather around for a traffic accident, but someone need help on the side of the road, they fly right on by? It's just human nature, just how it is. So I limit what I read. I don't watch the news anymore. I limit what I go read about. I need more positive. I need to speak better. I need to behave better. So that it allows me, my mindset to be better, to create better things, to think more positive, to think better thoughts of my wife. You know, there's a lot of couples that I know that they're very cynical. They don't trust it. You know, they don't trust. You hear things like, hey, you've been at the store. Yeah, but you've been gone an hour and a half. Where you been? That is so loaded with assumptions. You know, it's untrustworthy. Mindset, right? Having a no surrender mindset is removing the barriers that you need to do to have a better self, so I can bring a better me to this relationship for an opportunity to work. I take 100% of my 50% of relationship. I allow her to own 100% of her 50% of relationship.
You know, the biggest part of our battle is what the mind tells us. Usually once the mind is so powerful. It's an amazing instrument. Once you can get the mindset in the right motion, everything else generally falls into play. So you got to work on what you're feeding your mind.
Yeah.
You know, what are you putting in there? It's just the same as what are you putting in your body? What are you putting in your mind? Is it positive? Those are the things that you need to take a look at. And if you're not, now's the time to do it.
Now it's the time to do so. Lisa used to think I had such a powerful mind that she would sit there and think, aren't you reading my mind? Like I could
Don't you
read
know?
her mind.
Don't you know what I'm
I was
thinking?
like, I'm good, but I'm not that good.
And that's one of the things that we had to do. I had to learn to ask for what I want. Hey, will you hold my hand on the couch?
Yeah.
Can you put your fingers through my hair? I love when you do that. Can you give me a massage for longer than 1 minute?
Yeah, I'm a little ADD, so long as I'm like, okay. And our no surrender mindset was like, I know, honey, you're tired, but can you cook me something? No, I'm just kidding. So as we get to the end, remember the 4 things: self-education, emotional growth, physical growth, and
Personal mindset. For more content just like this, make
Yep.
sure you hit the like button
Yep,
and subscribe so you can be the first to see content when it comes out on this channel.
absolutely. I'm Michael.
And I'm Lisa.
We'll see you later.
Bye.